Hello and welcome. Another test flight, does it work? Video here in XP12. We're looking at the X-Craft's Erj-Family. That is a set of aircraft, the Embraer 135, 145, 145 extended range or something like that, and a business jet variant of this aircraft. They are originally for X-Plane 11. Now, as far as I understand, X-Crafts has or plans to make them X-Plane 12 compatible, but they have issued a patch that you can download from their main website. You put in that patch and then it works. But that's a little bit confusing because they now also have SkunkCrafter update active for this, and when you get the latest version from the SkunkCrafter update, the airplane is also X-Plane 12 compatible. So looks like we do have an X-Plane 12 compatible aircraft, and I'm going to give it a try and fly. And due to recent comments that I got, no, this is not a tutorial, okay? I'm not going to explain everything there is to explain. I haven't read the manual from page 1 to 1, I don't know, let's see how many pages do we have, 137 pages. I will not be able to explain everything that happens in this aircraft. I'm going to make mistakes, but this is how a lot of people approach add-ons. They turn on the simulator, they hop into the plane, and then they try and make it work. And only if they fail will they go and check out why they failed. And that's exactly what this try and fly is all about. It's always the same scenario, and therefore I can kind of compare also aircraft, and I can see certain aspects that when they fail, what kind of problems we may have or may not have. Okay, so if you expect a tutorial, if you expect me to explain everything about this aircraft, you are not in the right video. If I make a tutorial, and I don't really make that many, you will know, because I will have it in the headline of that video. I will call it tutorial. This is not a tutorial. It's weird, but I have to say that again and again, because there are still people, they come, they watch the video, they obviously don't look at the titles, and they expect me to do a tutorial, and then they ask me why I haven't prepared. I do not prepare for try and flies, and probably I have to say it now with every video, or I just simply ignore it. Yeah, so I haven't said it again, now you know. Okay, so let's go and use this aircraft. I mean, the X-Craft, the newer generation, let's say, of X-Craft airplane aren't actually, they aren't bad aircraft. They're really quite good, I think. I personally thought in X-Plane 11. The initial versions were a bit quirky. Some of the quirkiness has also gone into the next generation. The company also has made the Embraer 175 and Embraer 195, I think, which is the larger jets. These are, I call them the cigarette jets. They are really quite thin in the body. And whenever I had to fly on one of those, my size and the length of my legs, let's say in real life, as a passenger, I always cringed when I saw that I have to fly in one of those. When I was lucky, I would get the single seat. If not, then I ended up cramped in one of the double seat rows. There's almost no place for your luggage, so usually I had to put my bag under my legs, which made it even more comfortable. But apart from that, it's actually a good looking aircraft, and also the modeling, when we look at the modeling. As usual, in XPlane12, the models appear even better because there's actually an improved, all these reflections and so on. It has improved. So the visuals in XPlane12 generally let aircraft look a bit better, my opinion. Okay. So yeah, don't look at the crooked lines, not the aircraft. That's just a typical thing until they have fixed, and that lamina, that is, until they have fixed it. So yeah, very nice. Let's go to the ground ops. Let's open the door. Let's put away those. Let's maybe put those on. I think that's the luggage compartment. Yep, there's a. I think that's something for the luggage. Yep, cargo hold. And then the doors. Let's put that away again. Yeah, so really nice looking model. Also from the inside, the cockpit is actually quite good. Again, there's this unfortunate combination of the completely inadequate anti-aliasing in 1080p in XPlane12 and some cockpits under certain circumstances. You can see it here on the switches. This looks actually quite bad, but that's not because Xcraft has designed them badly. That's just an effect that you get with the awful anti-aliasing, the not working anti-aliasing in this aircraft. There's a lot of flicker, and in some cockpits you see it more, in other cockpits you see it less. Yeah. It's actually not too bad. In general, it's not too bad. You will see it more when you look outside. The cockpit is actually, well, even in this position, is quite well lit, or not too dark, because in some cockpits, due to this effect that makes it darker when you look outside, I wish we could turn this off. By the way, also in MSFS. I think this is a really, it's one of these funky things that someone must have thought is really great to have because it's so realistic. But it's not. When I sit in the cockpit and I look down, my eyes, I mean, I don't see the cockpit dark because the eyes are adapting so quickly. You don't have this kind of idiocy here. But in the simulator, when you do this, what happens is some cockpits are so dark that you cannot see anything. You have to turn on the instrument lights to have a chance to actually read them, unless you have your head down. I mean, that's what for? This is the kind of realism that we don't need. At least I don't need it. It actually makes my life harder in the sim. So I wish I could turn this off. Probably not possible, but I wish I could turn it off because I don't really like it. Yeah. Again, this cockpit is actually not bad. It's still quite acceptable when it comes to the brightness of things. Yeah. Having said that, let's turn all the light knobs and bring them to full. Do we have some up here? Yeah, I think we do. So let's turn that on. And is there anything down here? What's that? Oh, that's the auto pressure. Max elevation. Yeah, pretty good modeling and also nice kind of wear and tear because I think these aircraft are a little bit older. They were kind of the first generation of jets, and then came the E-jets, which are probably the more modern variant of it. Now let's have a look at what this aircraft looks in the dark. Okay, so we're really in the dark. It's actually pretty bright. Yeah, so let's bring the floodlights down. That's MFD, that's the panel lights. Okay. And yep. And now I have to remember where we have the cockpit lights, because I think they are also on. That's so yeah, you can bring that down a bit, but we still have stereo light. Oh hey, here the stereo light works. That's the cockpit dome light. Here we got it. There it is. Yep. The starters are up here. In the E-jets, it's actually down in the center console here. All right, so this is what this looks like. If you can bring down the, yeah, I think that's quite a nice cockpit lighting. I really like it. Is there a cabin? Yes, there is, and it's actually quite okay. But whoever knows me, I'm not one. But there is a gimmick here, and that is you can actually control at least. Yeah, you can open the door from here, and in this case, I'm closing it now. That's actually quite nice. All right, and that's about it. That's as far as I'm interested in the cabin. And you can see here the single row and the double row, and it's a very narrow thing here, and there's not a lot of space. So for large people like me, yeah, it can be a bit of torture. Depending on how the flight goes and how long the flight is and where you sit. So Lufthansa regional jets use these. I'm not sure if Lufthansa still has the smaller jets. Okay, now let's go back to brightness. Yeah. Now this aircraft has something that for me personally is a disadvantage. The way they have done the displays is not anymore like it used to be in X-Plane 10 and 11. I have XTextureExtractor, which allows me for most aircraft, but not all of them, to extract the displays unless they're done in a different way, so that this bitmap here either lies somewhere else where XTextureExtractor can't find it, or they do it completely different, I don't know. And they haven't adapted to the new way that X-Plane 12 actually allows to bring out the displays. So what they have done is this, and that was from the start when X-Craft started making aircraft. That's the way they did it, bringing out kind of in a 3D, bring it closer, which is okay, but it's not really what I want. What I want is an external display that I can put on another screen, and that I can also put in as an overlay here. That's not possible in this aircraft. Now that's my personal, something I don't like personally, and I find it a pity that I can't use XTextureExtractor on this one here. But yeah, looking at the displays, they're actually quite, this is all quite nice. So the reflections are borderline, but it's okay. You can still read these displays. They're quite bright. Everything is quite bright here. So they're good to read. at least so far I've looked here. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's fine. By the way, these pop-up panels, so that's very specific X-Craft. I haven't really seen things like that in other aircraft a lot. There are the odd ones, but yeah, that's... So I have thrust rating here, for example. There's a thrust rating panel that you can bring out. It's that here. What I'm not always sure what I should do with these things. Yeah. It's okay. I mean, if you do something like that, then maybe you should do it in a way that you don't cover your other windows by those, but okay. Anyway. Let's put, yeah. Oh, this one you can pull out. Interesting. Can you do that here too? No. Here. Okay. I think the sound is also quite nice. At least I personally like the sounds so far. And they also work in XP12 quite good. Yeah. There's no complaints. This thing is normally kind of a lock bar here. That doesn't seem to work. I don't think it worked in the XP11 version, if I remember correctly. Again, it's a couple of months now ago that I last flew in one. I think I made a try and fly in summer or May time last year in XP11, because I've updated these after I had some issues with these aircraft. They didn't really work for me, so I kind of not used them for a long time, and then in mid last year or so I actually dug them out again, installed them, and put in all the updates with the Skunk Crafter, and yeah, actually it was not a bad experience, and I'm hoping that it will be a similar good experience. Now they are simulating the FMC here, so yeah, it's a rather quirky thing as well. But let's try and use this. But in parallel, they also have the normal FMC. So if you find this a little bit strange, then you can always switch to this one, at least for most parts of what you should enter. Initial cruise altitude, 14,000. You can load a company route. Well, we're not going to do that. You can save the route, you can save the flight plan, and you can go to the index. Okay, so let's go to the init page. That's where we just were. And then we go to departure. We are in Stuttgart. We are selecting runway 07. And I have to remember again how that worked. 07, select, that was it. In other versions of this kind of FMC, you have a knob here that you have to press. Here it's the select key, runway 07. Then we select the departure. It's AVTAB for hotel, so we can select that one. No transition available. Indeed, yes. Where did you put it? Let's select that again. And so what do I need to do? Because there is no transition. What does that mean? Does that mean we can't use it, or what? Because it's not bringing it up here. Again, this is not a tutorial, so don't give me anything here about so we have AVTAB for hotel, right? By the way, you can go up and down, and then you say select. But if I can't select the departure, all right then. Let's go in here, and you know what? Let's do it like this. Yeah, because here we don't even have the... Yeah, let's enter the flight plan here, because honestly, I never could be bothered with this. I usually use the normal way, the default way. Departure, AVTAB for hotel, runway 07, AVTAB for hotel, so now it is execute, and then go to the arrival in Munich, ILS 08 left, direct, sort of no star, no transition, it's vectors basically. Then let's have a look at the legs, and we put Magat here, close the gap. What was this here? Let's remove that one as well. Abtal, Magat, yep, standard routing for my try and fly. It's got in there. Fine. Not sure if that now can be seen. Probably not. See, let's route edit. Yep, there's no route. So these two don't really work together. Yeah. Now let's go to performance, because I think you need to enter some things to get the performance. So the MAC is 30.6. Ground ops, then FMS, checklist. Yeah, there's this checklist stuff, FAQ. By the way, there's a settings menu up here, and you can even contact tech support. And I guess you go here for the weights. So we have 5.7 tons of, 2.59 tons of fuel. We have about 3 tons of, yeah, so that should be okay. Can you change this? Let's put something else in there. No. Minimum range 26.5. Well, then we leave the default. Number of passengers 25. Payload weight 3112. Yep, that's correct. Fuel total 2593. Yep. Total weight 17.8 tons. Current trim 1.0 up. Trim requirements 7 up. 7 up. And then 7 up. And flaps. What's that? Flaps G? No. Is that flaps 9? Okay. Yeah, it's flaps 9. So, well, it's a bit too early for that, I think. We'll do that then a bit later. 119, 119, 131. So we've got our V speeds, which is good. What's performance 2? Cruise speed, Mach. Oh yeah, I would like to stay 250. By the way, this thing does not have an autopilot as far as I remember. Initial cruise altitude. Yeah, well, the thing is that the transition altitude isn't correct. Now that I see this here, let's go here. Okay. Cruise speed 250. Initial cruise altitude 14,000. Final cruise altitude also 14,000. Cruise wind is about 271 with cruise wind direction 271. Missing arrival airport. Oh, you need that. Oh well then, arrival. So enter arrival airport, EDDM. Let's do that then. Yep. Select star. Yeah, no, we don't. No, we only want to select the runway. See? 08 left. And I'm not doing anything else. I'm not going to, hopefully I haven't messed up the flight plan now. Where's the legs here? It's still okay, is it? Yes, it is. Okay. Back to the performance. Wind with about 1 knot. Average cruise OAT, I couldn't tell you. Then let's see performance 3. Predicted landing weight. Well, we're now on 17.8 tons. I would say we'll probably use about 300-400 kilograms of fuel. So let's take an educated guess. And that gives us the VREF 129, approach speed 129. VREF, oh, with the different flaps here. So with any flaps, 160 VFS, flap speed, flap 22, 129, flap 45, 125. Yeah, I guess we're going to land with full flaps. I can correct the approach speed, so I can... Normally what happens is that it takes VREF plus 5. I could probably enter something more here. Let's try that. Okay, and indeed it has now changed this here. Just took a moment. Units in kilogram. So I think that should be with the performance. Don't know what else it needs. There's an autopilot page, so we could actually already enter the autopilot values here. Target speed 240, yeah, we can leave that. Nav source is nav1. Well, not really, because, and now I need to remember where you pull. I think it's here. Is it here? FMS, yeah. So that's the pink, magenta, I think, is FMS. Yeah, and then it says GPS here as well. I can't change it here, it seems, but at least it indicates the correct thing. Yeah, fine. Radios, Huh? Oh, that's the flip. Oh yeah. How was it? How do I enter frequencies? Select. That's interesting. Invalid. COM2. So here you can switch it, but yeah, I'm sure there was a... Oh no, here it is. No, and then I switched. That was the way it, yeah. So 1950 is okay. That's correct. Let's see on radio 2 page. Then we have the ADF, the transponder. Can give the code here. Yeah. And then go back. And I think that's it. I don't think we need anything more. So let's we remain on this page here for the flight plan. Now let's have a look if the flight plan has been correctly put in. So That's terrain, VSD, target, speed, ET, nav, FMS. That's the, you choose the source. You can change the plan mode here. And then here's the radar altitude, yeah, the minimums. And now I need to find out where you can, here it is, yeah. Here's the range, nice. There's quite a bit of clutter here. Let's see, can we change this? VORs off, airports off. Yep, return. By the way, you can also switch to certain inlets here. TCAS is on or off. And here's the range, yeah. So let's return to the normal navigation display. And go to takeoff mode here, Alt takeoff 1. Yep, we're not reducing power here, we're going full power. Okay, doors are still open. When we go on this side, it's all the engine stuff, oil temperatures, cabin altitude. Yeah. Now let's It wouldn't allow me to go into the start position, but when I do the test, maybe it's intentional, I don't know. There's the APU, yeah, 100%. And no, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, click spots. Okay, here we go. Battery 1, APU. Yeah, okay, here's the APU. Right, now let's get a bit more formal and pull out the checklist. I forgot about it actually. Pre-flight, doors open. Well, parking brake, engage. Yep, it is engaged. Battery 1 and 2 off. Let's go to the next page. Power up procedure. So, GPU voltage checked. Fuel pump power 2 on. So where are the fuel pumps here? Oops. Here's the fuel pump power 2 on. Nav lights on. Fire panel test. We've done that. Panel and cockpit lights, yeah, APU switch on, APU ICAS, stable yellow box, yes, APU switch start, yep, we've done that, ICAS running, APU generator on. So, and we turn off the GPU, and actually we remove the CPU, the GPU, and we close that door as well. We activate the APU bleed. So emergency lights arm check. No, I haven't done that actually. So where is it? That was somewhere here. Yeah, arm. Passenger signs on. No, that was the wrong one. Wrong switches. Where were they? Here. Eyes protection windshield off. Eyes protection is up here, windshields off, sensors on, altimeters set, they are 1013, right? Yep. Program the FMS, we've done that, DCU FMS selected as needed, altitude set to initial clearance, yep, heading set to runway, yep, terrain on. The terrain switch is here. please download or update the TerrainRadar plugin. Oh yeah, okay. So there's this freeware plugin that you can get from the forum. I forgot to actually activate it here. If you have the free freeware terrain thing, it will work on this display. I just forgot to put it on. Thrust levers idle. Yep. Pitch trim from Tektron FMS set. We've done that already. Pressurization panel set. Pressurization panel set. The pressurization panel. Okay. Let's look at the pressurization panel. Air conditioning, ice protection, fuel, power plant. It's probably not up here. Let's have a look down here. That's that probably. So max elevation, auto pressure. Yeah, I don't know. Max elevation in feet. Let's do 8,000 or 7,500 or so. Fuel quantities checked, hydraulic, electric pumps, auto. Red beacon on. Is the red beacon on. Logo light on in darkness, we don't have that. Next, engine start and pushback. Okay, we don't require pushback. Fuel pumps power on, APU bleed on, pushback engage. Yeah, power plant number 2 start. All right then. Doesn't sound like, does it or does it not? We probably don't have all the switches the way they should be. For example, I just realized bleed switches because it's dark cockpit. Try that again. Okay. Yeah, well, the checklist wasn't exactly helpful. Let's see. Fuel pump power, power plant ignition, 1 and 2 auto. Where are they? We are probably missing something. Typical try and fly scenario, in case you wonder. Yep. FADEC reset, ignition auto. Okay, all of that seems okay. Oh, we have fuel pumps are on. And here we've got everything on. Yeah, so aileron once is in op, rudder in op, engine oil in op, check A1 perf, generator off. So all the generators are off. What happens when I put this off? The light. I'm a bit confused now because APU. We're missing something, that's for sure. Question is what? Because we're not spooling up. Probably. So. Let's try that again. I wonder why all 3 lights go on when I press 1 button. That looks like some simplification. Let's see if that makes a difference now. Come on. Tell me what you're missing. Aileron 1, 2 sys inop, rudder 1, 2 sys inop, generator 1, 2, 3, 4 off bugs. dark cockpit. So there shouldn't be lights on. Are the engines starting? I hear some sounds, but I'm not sure what I'm hearing here. So closed, open. That's us Gasper now. That's the packs. Yeah, let's turn the packs off and then try again. Nope. Oh yeah, that's a good start. You see what happens? This is the kind of aircraft where you can end up with some frustrations. If now I thought that using this checklist will solve that problem for me, but apparently it does not. Let's see, do we have anything that prevents us from? No. So the APU is on. We've checked the state of the APU. I'm a bit confused about whether or not, but getting an alarm for me means it's not good because I turn it off. Because that's how I understand the logic. So let's see. There must be hydraulic fuel, ECS. Okay, what have we got here? Yeah, the displays don't give that much hints. Huh? Hydraulic is okay. Fuel. Oxygen pressure. So what about the starting air? Yeah, okay, it's starting to become a bit of an annoyance now. Yeah. You would think that it's easy, but unfortunately it's not. Takeoff data, it's not coded anyway. AC power, backup, emergency light. Like, what have I got the checklist for? I'm just a bit confused about these lights being on. APU bleed. Well, we need the APU bleed. You see, that's what's confusing me here. Oh yeah. Okay, Shift Control E. I'll find out the next time. If you are in XPlane12 and aircrafts sometimes give you a hard time, then you should program yourself a key for auto start engines to running in real time. And I've got it on Shift Control E. And when I'm getting frustrated with this kind of stuff, I use Shift Control E because I don't want to hang around. So I'm pretty sure I missed something out, but the thing is, I had really hoped that the checklist would prevent me from doing so, but apparently it does not. Now we have 2 running engines. That's good. We can turn off the APU. Let's do these steps here. Air conditioning packs 1 and 2 on. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 on. We're not getting them on now. That's a disadvantage. Now apparently the patch may not cover everything. So let's put this in auto again. Let's put that in auto. Dark cockpit. Yeah, APU is also. Okay, let's have a look. Emergency light not armed. Okay, turn that off again. Where was it? Here. And now we have a started aircraft. Yep. So this is something that I use when things are not just working out the way I would like it. Instead of spending now a lot of time trying to figure out what I have done wrong. Now that doesn't always work, but it works in most cases. Engine bleeds 1 and 2 on. Yeah, that's now a problem, because theoretically we don't have engine bleeds. That's potentially a problem. Well, we shall see. Let's ignore this for the moment. Next. Taxi light, sterile sign on. Now where was it? Sterile, sterile, sterile. Red beacons in the inspection light, logo, dome, fasten belt. There it is. All right. Park and brake release. Flight controls test. Oh yeah, we're already starting here. Let's quickly check the where's the click spot. There we go. Yep, works. Now let's taxi to the runway, and then before takeoff. Not sure how much of the flicker you can see on the video, but I'm pretty sure it is visible. Maybe not as strong, because the video recording does soften it out a bit, but I see it here. I have a crispy screen here, and I can see things flicker without end. It's I'm really hoping for the next release that they have done something about that lamina, that is, because this is the one thing that really disturbs me in this simulator. Okay, so let's do the before takeoff stuff. Park brake set. Trim confirm. We set 7 up. Aha, it has changed the trim. Oh yeah, sure, because we've done the auto start thing, so some stuff has changed again. Okay, good to know. 7. We also need to bring out the flaps into position 9. Yep, trim confirm. Flaps takeoff, speed brake closed. Let's check this is still as it should be. Yeah, these settings are also still okay. Takeoff page MNFD showing. Takeoff data speeds. Yeah, the takeoff data speeds. I just realized something has flipped here. Okay. Yeah, so 131 V2, 119 rotation, and 119 is V1. We are on ILS, so that has changed as well. Let's put that on FMS. Heading is 072, so it's straightforward. Yep. And strobe lights are on. Taxi lights we can turn off. The landing lights we can turn on. Fuel tanks balanced. Well, see where they are. Fuel. Yep, they're balanced. Thrust rating takeoff. Check. Yep, is there a switch? There's a go around switch, but here's the takeoff thrust rating, and I think that shows up here. I guess that's the takeoff. It says TO there anyway. ICAS checked. PFD on. Flight director, it appears on, but where exactly? Yep, flight director, now it's on. Flight director on, FLC or VS armed, so level change arm. Nav or heading armed, then let's arm the nav. Transponder, TARA, we can do this here, there's a radio panel here. TCAS display. So TARA, park brake release, takeoff config check. Yeah, for that we need to actually release the park brake. Then we can press on the takeoff config.
No takeoff, trim.
Ah, the trim. Yeah, maybe the performance page has changed its mind. Current trim 6.6. Okay, now let's try that again.
Takeoff, okay.
There we go. Takeoff config, enter runway, check, and then line up, heading, Barca line, elapsed time, push ET on chronometer. Did that do it? Suppose did, probably. Try again. Elapsed time, push ET on chronometer. And 140% spooled up and stable. Takeoff thrust set. Okay, that means we first bring it up to about 40, and then I need to bring it into the takeoff position, which I'm not sure, but and off we go. V1, rotate.
V2.
Positive rate, gear up. And autopilot on. Let's see what it does. Flaps up. So reach 240. Thrust rating climb, check. Aha. Ah, okay. I don't think it's an auto throttle, but it seems to kind of manipulate, at least in some form. Okay, thrust rating climb, autopilot on above 1000 feet AGL, terrain radar as needed. Landing lights above 10,000. No, we're not there yet. Okay. Doesn't look like the gears have come in. Or white, no, the gears are in. The flaps are in. But look here, we have a red line on the, a red line here, and I'm not sure where that comes from. Anyway, we are stuck on 240, which is actually quite good. Let's climb at about 2,200 feet per minute. Let's see if my standard hardware works. Yeah, heading works. Altitude works. That's good. So the knobs and rotaries on the Honeycomb Bravo can be used for the autopilot. Ah, now the red thing is gone because I'm not sure. It's some kind of limitation that it knows about, so I guess that's fine, which means that I can now okay, indicated airspeed does not work. Okay, I use the knob here then. This is a bit strange. See this? This goes very slowly. 4.8. I'm not doing anything at the moment, so 250. 251, yeah. There's a bit of a problem here with this part. That's strange. See this? It has remembered me turning the wheel, and now it's coming in kind of every couple of seconds. That's a bug. It can't be normal. And the thing is, it doesn't stop. Oh God. It's getting faster and faster, and I can't stop it. Not good. Okay, vertical speed mode. Let's bring up the vertical speed and get the speed down again. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong here with this. See, I turned now the speed and nothing happens. So how do I get the speed down now? Oh, that's interesting. We are in vertical speed. Ah, okay. That was a bit of a weird one. Okay, okay. So if you select the mode, then the wheel either does the vertical speed or the speed. That's a bit, let's say, unusual. Wouldn't have that in other aircraft like that. Okay, 250. Let's go back to our 250. We've reached almost flight level 140. Okay, I have to remember that. That means in flight level change, but that then is a bit weird. Now we're getting faster. Let's see. Where is there a cruise? Let's go to the cruise mode. See what that means. Are we still getting faster? Yeah, we're still getting faster, so I need to take back the thrust here and bring the speed down. We're turning. Maga at about 60 miles now, so we're going to start the descent then in time, around 30 miles, 30 something miles from Magat. Because we are not in a typical altitude for such flights, I'm pretty sure that the cruise mode would work with certain positions of the thrust lever. But this is an untypical scenario, so that could explain why. So we are at 250. Let's bring up the thrust a little bit. So it stops decelerating. Yep, 250. Looking good. So keep it there for the moment and observe it. Then let's synchronize the heading. Cabin altitude high. Oh, this thing is on 0 again. So, what does that mean now? Cabin altitude is 12. Oh, yeah. I guess there's a reason why you want to limit this. Not good. In the meantime, we can actually use cabin altitude is still high. Yeah, it's still growing, and now it's off. But I have a feeling that cabin altitude of 12,000 is a bit much. It's coming down now. See? It's coming down now. Yep. Yeah, my auto start thingy reset probably all these things. So, poor passengers. So how far are we? You see why this is not exactly great here. Okay, Magat 45, so still some miles to go. Yeah, the thrust is roughly okay. It keeps the speed. Can do fine adjustments, but I mean, we're not that exact anyway. Like, as long as it doesn't start to continuously increase, then you would probably need to bring it back a bit. So we're now around 250, and I leave it on this setting for the moment. Right. Then ET. Yeah, 12 minutes. What else have we got here? So here we switch. I'm not going to touch that one. The bearings, so at the moment is off, but I could put it on VOR1. Terrain doesn't work now. This one doesn't work either. Why? Probably the same reason or what? Yeah, we need the TerrainRadar plugin for that. There's the gain for the weather radar, yeah, but these are all not coded. Yeah, that's kind of the radio audio panel here. Passenger oxygen, well, not working either. Windows cannot be opened, which I wouldn't do now anyway, even if I could. Yeah. That's the speed brake. Cutout test, yeah. Stall protection. That was the stall test. We didn't do that one. "30 miles. So now let's bring down the altitude, 5,000. And we use flight level change. But we need to bring down the thrust, obviously. Because we don't have auto throttle, it will not bring it down on its own. But since we are descending, we need to bring back the throttles. Let's bring them back into idle position and see. I would have thought that yeah, okay, but light level change, what will happen now is if the speed drops now below 250, it should increase the descent rate in order to keep the 250. So I'm going to give a bit more thrust now so that we stay in and around 1800 feet. We don't want to sink too fastly now, because otherwise it would be too early. Down on 5,000 and then yeah, but let's see how that works out. Well, Well, the speed is still going down. It doesn't... Okay, don't really like that one, so let's use vertical speed mode, 1700 feet, and I just use the thrust levers to control the speed. Let's create a new view here. All right. Now 10,000. Well, I haven't done anything anyway, so we're fine. Quickly go through the descent checklist. Pressurization, speed brake closed. Yeah. Target altitude set. Landing data speeds. Oh, the target altitude. RMU set for runway and parking confirmed. Terrain radar is needed. ILS frequency is set. Passenger signs on. Stereo sign on. Landing lights below 10,000. Yeah, I mean they are on, so altimeter set, then landing, okay. We are below a certain altitude, and now the red bar comes again. Interesting. Let's reduce the speed now. Seven miles. Yeah, we'll be fine. .220, and let's quickly synchronize the heading. Let's switch into heading mode. Then I'm switching the source to nav. So what about the course? The course is... oh yeah, where do I actually set the course? Ah, here. So the course is 80, that's correct. And now let's see what happens when I arm the approach mode. What will it do? Because it's a little bit earlier. Yeah, it has a proper arm. It doesn't just start. Yeah, that's good. Now we're getting onto the localizer when it's moving. That's something that the FSS Embraer doesn't really do correctly. And we almost... Yep. Glide slope is also captured. We're descending on the glide slope. That's going quite well. VRF was 129, I think. So how far are we? 5.6 miles. Next stage of flaps. How many stages do I have? Another 2, yeah, okay. And flaps full. Gear down, flaps full, thrust rating, takeoff. Autopilot off. Yeah, I'm gonna do that in a moment. Because there's no auto land with this one. We're approaching our reference speed or approach speed. It's actually quite easy to control the thrust and the speed. It's actually quite good on this one. It's quite direct. Okay. Well then, flaps full, gear down, autopilot off, manual. It doesn't veer off left or right immediately, so that's also good. It's quite stable. Yep, that is quite okay. Let's we kind of came in a little bit on the high side, but it's okay.
50.
Okay, coming on. Down
10.
we go. Yeah, good boy. Alright. Reversers coming out. I guess I forgot to put up the auto brake, or is there? Can't actually remember seeing an auto brake. I think I have to do it myself. Yes. So manual braking. Yeah, it was easy. So landing this aircraft is really easy. That's actually working quite well. Cool. Stop here for the moment, clean up the aircraft. Taxi lights. The start doesn't come immediately. Let's start the APU, check that it's really coming. Yeah, it's firing up. And lights are off. Oh yeah, the strobes. I actually forgot the strobes, right? Did I? No, I didn't. Okay. But now we have to turn it off. Yep. So let's continue. If you have a steering tiller, you definitely cannot use the rudders for steering. I hope it's different when you do only have the rudders, the rudder pedals. Otherwise it can be a bit of a problem with the steering. But I guess as soon as the steering axis is defined, I think it will switch priority to the steering tiller, I hope. I have both. I have the rudder pedals and a steering tiller. I use an old throttle from an X52, Cytec X52 unit. And it's actually quite nice because I've got the thrust lever so that it's left and right, not up and down or forward, backward. And that's actually quite good for steering. But rudder pedals, they are practically almost ineffective. You can't use it to steer around the bend or something. It wouldn't work. Oh yeah, standby. Put that one on. Standby, trims neutral. Yeah. Logo light on in darkness. APU switch is started. Yeah. All right. Yeah, APU started, taxi to gate. I have the thrust levers at idle, by the way. They just happily, this aircraft happily rolls and rolls and rolls. But it's not getting that fast, so there are other aircraft where you really have to watch out because you're accelerating quite a bit, but this one is okay. It stays pretty much on the speed. There's only a slight increase, which I counteract from time to time by just tipping on the brakes. Okay, let's use this gate here. Stop here and go through the APU generator on, power plants stop, red beacon off, taxi lights off, chocks set, so that's the ground stuff. Set the chocks. Hydraulic electric pumps off. Ice protection windshield off. GPU connect check. Actually, we haven't got that yet. Ground. Switch on the GPU. GPU is connected. GPU avail on. Yes, indeed. And we'll activate it. APU button stop. And APU switch off. Sterile sign off. Passenger signs off. Doors open. And that is terminating. We are terminating this aircraft. We are terminators. Okay, that's it. Welcome in Munich. Now, the only issue I had with this aircraft really was starting the engines. And I'm pretty sure something was missed out. The checklist is obviously not as comprehensive as it should be. I must have overlooked something. I'm thinking, okay. It could be that it is still an issue with XP12. That's possible. Can't be ruled out, but I would say most likely it was me making a mistake. Yeah. But you've seen my trick of getting aircraft like this started. It was worked fine, and the flight went really well, actually. So ILS was fine. Steering the aircraft manually is great. It's really easy. Using the throttles to control the speed is also quite easy. Yeah. So I would say it's a nice aircraft. I'm definitely going to use it in XP12 from time to time. Cirrus, by the way, is a non-existent German airline which had Embraer jets. I'm not sure if they had this type of jets, but they definitely had the 170. That I know. Right, so yeah, does it work? Yes, it does work, and it works quite well. You need the patch from the homepage of Xcraft. I'm going to put the link. I hope I don't forget. If I forget to put the link in, just let me know in a comment. And yeah, that will make the aircraft definitely ready to go. But I think that you may actually not need that download anymore, because if you use SkunkCrafter, I think that should work as well. Because I think all the current versions that they put in are XP12 compatible. Yeah, I did both. I first got the patch, and then I realized that we have SkunkCrafter updates, and yeah, and it has actually been updated to version 1.4.2 or so. That's currently the latest version. When you start the aircraft, you will see there's a pop-up in the cockpit that gives you the version 1.4. Whatever, and if it's the latest version in green. If it's not the latest version, if there's a newer version out, it will actually show in orange, and in that case you would need the SkunkCraft updater, or whatever that's called, to get the latest files put in, or use a download from the shops. But I think, at least on the X-Plane store, I don't think they always have the latest version for download. So sometimes it is better to use the SkunkCrafter, because it will definitely give you the latest versions of an aircraft. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, and until next time.